Let's take a look at the shortest tune in the real book. 8 measures plus 1 measure ending chord. I'm Ron Drotos from keyboardimprov.com. Thanks for being here for this journey through the real book. And this is the 72nd tune, Choral by Keith Jarrett. And it's interesting because Keith Jarrett's been playing, 50 years. He's been around for a long time. And he's not particularly well known as a composer, but particularly in the early years, he wrote a lot. And I think the reason why there's at least several tunes of his in the real book is because his music was very fresh at the time. We'll look at the chords in a second. And also because he had been in Boston. The real book was originally compiled by undergraduate students at the Berklee College of Music. Actually, I'm assuming they're undergraduate. I don't think anybody really knows if they're undergraduate or graduate students. But they were in the jazz program. Probably didn't even have a grad department at the time. I don't know. I'll have to ask a friend of mine, Greg Hopkins, who teaches up there. I'll have to ask him about that. But anyway, they were, Gary Burton, a lot of the Boston players were playing these tunes. And that's why they were in the real book, I think. And also they wanted things different than the sort of only older standards. That's why Steve Swallow tunes are in there, another Boston-based musician. So 8 measures. It starts out with a 2-5-1 in B flat. But instead of going right to a B flat, it's a D over B flat. So it has that poignancy, and then it resolves to B flat. Then, very typical here, 2-5-1 to G minor. And then resolves up a fourth to C7, like a 2-5. And then all of a sudden, in the 5th measure, it goes to a completely different key, B. And then kind of surprise chords. And then where does this F minor come from? I don't know. And then before we get used to that too much, we go right back to C minor, and we're back to the beginning again. So what Jarrett's doing is taking the kind of modulations and surprises and variety and contrast that you might expect to get in a 32-bar song by Cole Porter or somebody like that. He's condensing it, packing it all into 8 measures. And that's the fun, but also the challenge in playing this tune. It's a ballad. His early stuff sort of could be in the jazz style, or it could have pop overtones, depending on which group he was playing with, whether it was Charles Lloyd, which went sort of both ways with that, or even recorded, Jarrett also recorded a couple albums that were almost pop in the early 70s. I don't know if they're listened to that much, but they're kind of fun to hear. So here we go. I'm just going to start and see where it takes me. it's a fun tune to play. I love the motifs, how it just sort of goes up and then comes back down, and you can take some of these motifs and use them, you know, as a composer or improviser would, you know, develop them and see where a tune like this takes you. Have fun. Thanks for being here with my journey through the real book. Hope it's yours too. And I'll see you in the next video. Let's see what it will be. Cottontail, Duke Ellington. Okay, see you then.